Hello and welcome to Paul's e-learning podcast. My name is Paul Andrews and this is my podcast about using free and open source tools and technologies to allow you to work smarter, not harder. This week we've actually updated the website fairly substantially, mainly to make up for last week when there weren't really any updates because we were busy doing other bits and bobs. So yes, we're going to get straight into it. So the first thing we've actually added to the website is on the iPad resources page. Now, on this particular page, you'll find lots and lots of free apps you can use for your iPad. They're all downloadable from the App Store. But the one we've added to it this week is an app called Hopscotch. For those of you who are familiar with Scratch, Scratch is a system that was developed, I think it's by MIT in America, to teach young children how to code, and it basically gives them Lego bricks that kind of click together to form the functions and the scripts you want to create. So the idea being is you can't get any of the syntax wrong because you're not typing in commands per se. Well, Hopscotch is a similar kind of system. It's basically like Scratch for the iPad. So if you are in a school, particularly a primary school, this app is really geared towards the younger learners. But if you are wanting to teach your pupils, your students, or maybe you've got some kids of your own, you want to teach them how to start programming, head over to the App Store and check out Hopscotch. It's completely free of charge and well worth a download and a couple of minutes of your time. So other updates we've added this week, but I've had an article on the business networking page, and for those of you who don't know, on the website we basically have three main areas. One is for businesses, one is for educators, and the other one is for home users. And in the businesses section, there's lots of free tools that show businesses how they can basically enhance their business in several ways by making use of these free tools. But we've added an article by the fine folks over at Lifehacker, and it's all about how you can build a proper professional network. It's called How to Skip the Sleaze and Build a Real Professional Network. And if you're in the same kind of position that I am, in that essentially trying to get a startup business off the ground, one of the key things you have to do is network. But I've been to a fair few networking events now, and some of them have been really useful, but some of them it's a bit more of a kind of an extended sales pitch. Everyone's kind of selling, and they're not really interested in listening to what you've got to say. They all want you to buy their wares off them. So it's a nice little article. It basically talks about how you can make use of social networks and how you can do the face-to-face stuff as well to build up something that hopefully a network of people that will be able to help and support you in whatever business venture you are setting out on. Okay, other bits and bobs that have been added. There's a new tool's been added to the PDF page. It's called Free My PDF, and it's an online service. What this lets you do is it lets you edit PDFs that you've been sent, but it also lets you fill in PDF forms that you've been sent, and you can even make your own forms as well. So if you need to create a form for someone else to fill in, it's a very nice tool to allow you to do that. So that's on the PDF tools page. On the Chromebook page, for those of you that don't know, I use a Chromebook as my main computer. I think the Chromebooks are fantastic. They're like a £200 laptop. And if you're basically using web-based tools anyway, you don't really need a big fancy machine. I mean, I replaced I had a MacBook Air, and I've replaced that with my Chromebook, and it's fantastic. It's doing everything I want to do. So on our Chromebook page, what you'll find is there's a link to a PDF document, and it's called 100 Tips for Google's Chromebook. So if you have a Chromebook or you're interested in getting a Chromebook, it is well worth a look. Staying on the Google theme, we've also added to the Google Docs page, there's something called G Class Folders 2, and this is one for educators. What this basically lets you do is it lets you create a spreadsheet that lists all of your classes, and then with a click of a button it will create folders in Google Drive for each of the classes that you have to teach, which means then you can populate each of the folders with various resources, literature, that kind of thing that you want the students to have access to via Google Drive. So it's a nifty little tool, and if you've got multiple classes, it will speed up your administration processes no end.
Please hang up and try again.
Okay, so the last two things we've added then is there's a Google Chrome add-on. Chrome is actually one of it's my default browser now. I don't use anything else other than Chrome. If I have to go somewhere where they've locked the machines down with the administration rights, I've got Portable Chrome, which I'll use. I won't bother with kind of Internet Explorer or sadly even Firefox these days. But there's an extension that we've put on there onto the accessibility page, and it works exclusively with Google Chrome, and it's called Scroll Marker. And what this basically does is it puts a small line across the screen so that if you are reading a long article online, it basically lets you keep your place, and so you don't lose where you are. We've added it to the accessibility page because it's actually very handy if you find your eyes are wandering all over the place when you're trying to read something. The idea is it's almost like the digital equivalent of, when you were a kid and you were reading, you might have kind of put your finger under the word that you were reading and then kind of trace your finger across so your eyes stay on the right line. It's basically the digital equivalent of that. So it's a free download. It's kind of handy. And the last thing we've added is something called Photor. It's Fotor, and that's been added to the image making and editing page. And this is actually very similar to one of my favorite tools, PicMonkey. Like PicMonkey, Photor lets you upload a photograph or multiple photographs, and then from there you can make a collage out of those photographs, or you can edit them using free online tools. You can apply filters, you can add text, you can crop, you can cut the pictures. So if you are used to using PicMonkey, Photor is well worth a look. One of the things I did find on Photor as opposed to PicMonkey, some of PicMonkey's effects and frames, you can only unlock them if you become a premium member of PicMonkey. Photor has the same kind of things, but they're all unlocked. So, your mileage may vary, but if you are into editing photographs, it's well worth a couple of minutes of your time. Just go over to photor.com and check it out and see if it works for you. So those are the new things we've added to the website this week. There's quite a lot. So normally I only try and do 3 or 4, but like I say, because we didn't have anything on there last week, I kind of I wanted to make it up for a little bit. That's about all we've got time for this week. If you've got any questions, comments or feedback, you can reach me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @PaulsELearning. Otherwise, I hope to be speaking to you again very soon.